It's finally here, the video you guys have been waiting for, the procedurally generated garden plot. Last couple videos we made an animal pen and then we added an abandoned pasture, but this one will level it up quite a bit. Not only am I going to show you in this video how to create a garden plot, but you're going to be able to set the crops in each individual one. These crops will have 4 different growth stages that you can change at will, or they can level up for every in-game day. Some great stuff in this, and if you guys don't know who I am Taken Grace, and I make Unreal Engine tutorials just like this. If you want to become a better game dev with me, make sure you subscribe to the channel and join the realm. All right, let's continue to improve our procedural generation skills inside this video. All right, welcome. We are going to get started on our garden thing. Just a couple things. Obviously, we got our, our animal pens and our abandoned fields and all that kind of stuff. So super cool. Okay, so we need to import the actual crops from the Fab store. So we're just going to head over to the Fab store quick. And I put this in the description below for you guys for ease of access or whatever. But looking for this one, the Farm Plants model. Okay, and this comes with a garden bed. It's a little annoying in the fact that it has 8 individual garden beds in one mesh. So I mean, if you have your own mesh or if you want to make your own or whatever, that's fine. But anyways, it's free asset, so can't complain too hard. Okay, so we're going to import that. We're going to close this. The one annoying thing with this pack, and I'm sure like lots of packs that you guys download from the Fab store, is it imports it as one single mesh, right? So that's super annoying, obviously, but there is an easy way to fix that. So all you need to do is you need to go to the static mesh. We need to right click. We need to open source location. Okay, and you can see that it's put it not even in the same folder that you have Unreal Engine stuff in there. Okay, it's put it in some temp folder in the app data, blah, blah, blah. Okay, all you need to do is basically go to back to the Fab thing. Okay, and we just need to import or drag this in. And then it's going to ask us to import content. We're just going to hit import. It's going to, sure, want to override. Yeah, we want to override the existing asset. Sure. Okay, so we'll hit apply. It's going to add all of the static meshes now for this plant thing individually instead of all on one static mesh. Okay, so that's how you work around that issue. I mean, at least this guy had the nerve to like name all of his stuff. I had a low poly like medieval, castle-y town thing, and literally every all 300 plus static meshes were called cube. Oh, I wanted to wring that guy's neck. Anyways, okay, so here's all of our stuff. Okay, so I'm not going to be using any of this kind of stuff because it's just a 2-dimensional leaf. Okay, so but we do need to edit the pivot points, which we're going to do once we actually get into it because it's a little bit easier to deal with then. Okay, all right, the other thing that needs to be done for this video to fully work is a day-night cycle. So our crops are going to grow with each in-game day. Obviously, you need a day-night cycle blueprint to actually succeed with that. So I have created a video for a day-night cycle. I will link it in the end screen. You don't need to do that right away. There's just going to be a bind and an unbind node later that we're going to bind to an event that won't exist for you if you don't have a day-night cycle, because obviously it's inside there. So, okay, so what we're going to do here is we are going to start making our crops. Okay, so we're going to go, I think this is the 3rd time recording this video because I was having issues with that import. So I've already started, but I will show you guys what I've done here. We're gonna go world, we're gonna make a new folder called crops. Okay, and inside crops, we're gonna make a blueprint actor, and it's gonna be called crop class. Okay, crop class is going to be the parent for all of the crops that we want to have in our garden. We're doing it this way, obviously, instead of the way we did it over here, which is just random foliage with an enum, because we obviously won't be interacting with these flowers. We're going to be interacting with all of these crops and, adding it to your inventory or, picking them up or whatever the case is in your game. We're not doing that in this tutorial, obviously. We're just showing you how to make the garden, okay? So that's why we're doing it this way, so we can have functionality in all of our individual crops. Okay, so I'm going to dock this in layout, and then I'm going to just pull up the Fab, blah, 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 blah. So I just want to see what's here so we can name it. I'm only going to do 5 crops. I'm going to do the carrots, corn, the pumpkin, do the potato plants, I suppose. That's something different. And then wheat. Okay, tomato plants, you can do all of these ones, right? But I'm only going to do 5 in this particular project. Okay, so we'll duplicate pumpkin because I made that a child blueprint class of crop class. Potatoes. Mash them up, smash them up, put them in a stew or whatever that says. Okay, so BP, what's next here? Wheat, I said? Wheat Kings. You Americans probably don't even know Tragically Hip. Tragic. Anyways, next one will be I did the pumpkin, the potatoes, the wheat. What else did I say here? Carrot and corn. All right, you guys can do all of them if you want. We're just gonna do these ones. It's gonna be the same thing on all of them. Okay, so first, let's go inside our crop class and set some stuff up. Okay, we'll open the full blueprint editor. Okay, we are going to just add a static mesh. Okay, so we'll add the static mesh right here. We'll call it crop. Again, we're not doing any like of the interacting or whatever. In this crop class, you would add like the interact interface, for example, and then you can run the events in here for what happens when you interact with the item and all that kind of stuff. Okay, and then you could add like a sphere collision, so when the player overlaps with it, it shows like the pick up this, or whatever. You can do all that kind of stuff in here, right? But we're not doing that in this video, but this is where you would do it. Okay, so we'll get rid of these because we don't need those. We need a couple of variables. So the first one will be crop age. That'll be an integer. That will be instance editable. This one is going to be growth stage, call it 1. Okay, growth stage 1. This will be a static mesh, okay, which will be an object reference. This will not be an instance editable. We're going to duplicate this 3 times and go all the way up to growth stage 4. Okay, that's great. We'll hit compile. If you don't have the day-night cycle, this is the parts that you have to come back to if after you do that video, okay? But first, we're going to get actor of class, which will be your day-night cycle. Day-night cycle. Okay, if you do have it, make sure that it's in your world. There's some weird things are going to happen here because the way the day-night cycle works in this particular instance, I have all of my lighting stuff inside this blueprint. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and then there's going to be some errors because there's multiple suns in the scene and blah, 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 blah. A bunch of weird stuff happening. Lighting, the lighting folder, I'm literally deleting. I'm just going to delete that whole folder. Still got some lighting. Okay, and the other way the day-night cycle works, just for those who don't know yet, inside of the outliner, we'll select the day-night cycle. Oh, there's another directional light. We're going to get rid of that too. Skylights, sky atmosphere, sky sphere, all that we're getting rid of. Height fog, we're getting rid of that too. Okay, so it's just this day-night cycle. So you click on that, you go to details, and then you control with the Y the actual rotation of the sun. Okay, the sky sphere and stuff shouldn't be doing that. Okay, so that's that, and then the sun, if you want to change any of that kind of stuff in the details. On day-night cycle, you can just set the time here. So this is in 24-hour clock, so if we want it to be 10 a.m., we'll just type 10, and the time dilation we will keep at 1 for now. You can roll over here and we show you guys how to do all this kind of stuff, right? So you put a debug length in here so you can set how long the day is going to be and all that kind of stuff. So for the sun, I'm just going to move this in the scene itself, but it'll update in the actual day night because we have it being set later. Okay, so that's all. That's set up and done. There's the day night cycle in our level. Okay, back in our back in this guy, we've gotten the active class, which is the day night cycle. We want to get a if you open this up. I didn't teach this in the actual tutorial, so you need to add this. After we reset back to 0 after 24 hours have passed, we need to add a event dispatcher called day up, and then we need to call that, and we need to broadcast that a day has passed. Okay, so this will be basically for more than just crops. I'm sure there's lots of stuff in the game that you'd want this for, right? So in the crop class, we are going to bind event day up. Okay, we're going to drag out of event, and we're going to where is it? Is it an add event? Where is it? Not custom event dispatchers, create event. Okay, that's what we want. And then down here, we need to create a custom event, and we'll call it growth up. Now we can select that function here, growth up, so it'll fire this event when that dispatcher is called. Okay. Okay, so we need a way to determine what the growth stage is, so we can set our static mesh as this static mesh. So we're going to do that with a macro. So we're going to make a new one and called get crop age and set mesh, we'll call it. Okay, so we'll get crop, and we're going to set world scale 3D, and that's the only thing that's going to be actually plugged into an execution. Everything else is going to be stuff to deal with all that. Sorry, not set. We don't want to set our mesh, pardon me. We want to set scale. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna get growth stage 1. And we are going to make array. Okay, and we are going to add, we'll add 5 pins. Okay, so we have 0 through 4. We're just going to plug growth stage 1 into 0 and 1. We're not going to deal with 0 anyway, but just as a safety net. Okay, growth stage 2, growth stage 3, growth stage 4. These will all be set inside each individual mesh. Then we need to get a copy, and then we need to drag our crop age and plug it into here, okay? So we're gonna get the crop age, so that's 1 through 4, and then we're gonna get return whatever static mesh is in that index, right? Okay, we are gonna output this into this output, and we'll just make sure we name it appropriately. So we'll call it out mesh, I guess. Okay, next we need to set the scale. So we are gonna get the crop age. We're gonna multiply it by 0.25. Oh shoot, sorry, we got to convert this to a float, pardon me. 0.25, that's all done, and then we are going to drag this into here, and I believe it converts, everts it. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Okay, great. So yeah, we're doing this because obviously we want this, you know, if the crop age is 1, and this is why we didn't use 0 as well, by the way. So if the crop age is 1, then it's going to be, you know, a quarter the size, and then it's going to basically scale up. We're going to use 2 different meshes for most of the 5 here, because they just look better than, they're actually 3D meshes and not just like 2D paper cutouts like some of them, so. All right, so that's done. We're gonna hit compile. We're gonna go to the event graph. We are now going to, we'll drag this out here. Okay, we'll get our crop age and sets our scale. Then we're going to get our crop. We're gonna set static mesh, and it's gonna be this guy, okay? All right, so that's happening. We're gonna move this down here. We wanna do a couple more checks. So right here, we've binded to our event for our day up event. Okay, so we wanna unsubscribe to that event. But don't unsubscribe from this channel. If you, in fact, if you haven't subscribed yet, I suggest you do so we can become better Unreal Engine devs together. Anyways, we're gonna get our crop age, and we're gonna get not equals to 4. Okay, so this will run pretty much every time. Okay, because when it goes to the last stage, it'll be 3, so it'll be allowed through here. And then we're gonna get our crop age, and we're going to ++. So we're just gonna add 1 and set it. Okay. So once this is 4, this is gonna, you know, this event will fire once again, and this will already be matured, a mature plant ready to be harvested. So it'll run through here. It'll check, is it not equal to 4, which will be false. And then we're gonna come out of here, and we're going to, we're gonna drag out of here, and we got to unbind event day up. Okay. And the reason we do this, it allows the plant to be garbage collected once we've destroyed it from the world. So yeah, just remember, obviously, that one video I put out for the destroy actor node. So if you have an interact event, you'll put a destroy actor node, right? And once we have the destroy actor node, it's gonna say, hey, you know, garbage collection, this is pending, this is a pending kill blueprint. Yeah, and it's gonna check, like, do we have any references to any players? Well, right now we're hard referenced to the day-night cycle because we're binded to this event. So, so we're gonna unbind to this event, and we're gonna get that create event, and we're gonna select the growth up, okay? And that'll get rid of that error. Okay, so once we've unbinded from this event, then now we can clean up this this actor. So that's great. So just make sure you also get an end play. I think it has to be event end play. There it is. Event end play, and we're gonna do the same thing here. Reroute node here. Okay, we'll plug this in down here, and we'll just say unbind for the same thing, unbind to day up, or unbind day up. There we go. Okay, so just in case they harvest the plant before like a 5th day has passed and we've hit this thing, we're just gonna do this here because destroy actor will trigger this event. So yeah, we don't need to worry about it not being destroyed. Okay, so we'll do this, we'll do this, we'll do this. Okay, that's optimized. So yeah, when you add your like interact event, just make sure you plug in your destroy actor here, okay? Alrighty, I don't want to promote this to a variable, but I will, I guess. We'll call it, yeah, day night. But you know, we created a variable here, so I think, you know, the most appropriate thing to do is for the day night here, we'll just set it as nothing. Okay, so no data in there, perfect. Okay, and then this will really clean this up. There we go, nice and clean. Okay, so that's that. Just checking my notes here for anything else. I think that's all for this bit. It is. Okay, so we're gonna work on the construction script now for this crop. Okay, we're gonna go to our construction script. We need to set the age of the plant. Okay, so, obviously, like, we'll have it set by the designer, right? Because maybe they'll want to put some plants that are already in place. Maybe they're not quite mature yet. Maybe they are mature, or whatever the case is, right? So we'll grab the crop age. We are going to clamp this. So the same thing as the animal pens video, we want to set the minimum to 1 and the maximum to 4. So if our designer puts in stage 10, it just puts it back to 4, right? So then we'll take our crop age and we'll set it. Okay, and then we will of course get our crop age and set our scale, and then we will set our static mesh in our construction script as well. Set static mesh. There we go. There we go. All right. Okay, that's all done. That's all we need to do here. Let's add for crop age. Let's just do a description. We'll just say, you know, crop age, and we'll say 1 equals, you know, seedling, 2 equals sprout, 3 equals young plant, 4 equals mature plant, and then we'll put in brackets harvestable. We're gonna copy this later, but it's here just in case they want to add like a crop into the world that's not attached to our garden plot. But yeah, you just have that there just so your obviously your designer or level designer, whoever the hell is looking at it, can, you know, remember what this is when they roll over it. And it'll say, oh, okay, cool. So those are the parameters, right? Okay, that should be it for crop class, I believe, for now, if not indefinitely. Okay, we'll open up all of the individual crop classes now, and we'll set all of our stuff. This is just going to be rinse and repeat. I'll just show you the first one. The crop age can stay at 0 because we're going to set that dynamically later. Okay, so growth stage 1, this is for the wheat. So obviously I'm just going to, do I have that? I do. That content browser is still here. So I could just, now I can, everything's looking super weird for some reason. What happened to the textures of the plants? So I assume it'll be something to do with the static mesh. Sorry, the textures. Probably this. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so that's fixed. And then what's the other one here? Materials, plants, material. We'll open this up now. Base color, textures. I assume this one because it's the other one we didn't use. I did want to edit this. We'll edit it later once it's in the world. All right. Did this goddamn fix it? All right. Did that fix all of our problems? It did. Great. All of our stuff looks cool. All right. So what is this now? Wheat. So we got to go down to wheat, and we're going to add, that's the one that doesn't, these two, I think, don't have, like, they're just 2D images. So this one we're going to do, I'm going to do for stage 1 and 2. And then I'm going to do this one for stage 3 and 4. It's going to be the same for the rest of these. So I'll see you guys in a sec when you're done that. All right, so you guys should be all done that. So I just finished mine. So we do need to edit the static meshes for all of the things that we literally just added in, okay? Because the other annoying thing about packs off of Fab that are usually free is, well, like you saw that we had to go in and add all of these individual static meshes in a more roundabout way. So all of their locations are assigned to this one. So you know, they've applied the location of each individual mesh based off of this, right? So all of their actual pivot points are totally off. So we gotta obviously fix all those. Just go through the content browser here, and then, you know, just select anything that you definitely used in there, which I didn't use all of these, obviously. So, okay, so we'll drag all these out. They'll all have different transforms anyway, so you don't have to worry about them overlapping, which is kind of nice for now. But we're going to go to modeling mode, and we need to go to Xform and edit pivot. Okay, so all of these ones, right now, actually, they're all selected. So we're going to actually cancel that and then select each individual one. How annoying is this? Someone could have just effing done this in Blender or wherever the hell they modeled this and saved us the trouble, but you know, that's too much work. So anyways, edit pivot point, and we want to just obviously put it like right in the middle or whatever the case is. A little off center there, so I'm just gonna move that back and accept. And you're gonna do this for literally all of these, so it's exactly the same. So just select it, edit pivot point, edit the pivot point, move on with your life. So I'll see you guys in a sec. So, you know, just looking at these meshes and just remembering for my prep project, all of these meshes are effing huge. Like, you know, if I just preview my thing here, we'll go over here. Like, look at how big those potatoes are. Like, those are honkers, man. Like, holy crap. And then the carrots are huge. The pumpkin, well, the pumpkins are normally that big, I guess, but those are huge carrots. The wheat's really long. I remember the tomatoes, and the other one was just effing massive. Like, I could not believe how big they were. So maybe we'll go in after we're done this and we'll fix the scale. We'll just make it a little bit smaller. Okay, so that was one of the more annoying things about this tutorial, is just this pack needed a bit of extra work, which is, you know, I guess it's free, so you can't complain about it too much. But yeah, like I mentioned, these are huge. So let's actually go back into the crop static mesh. And, well, sorry, the get crop age and set scale. Let's actually times this by like, or 0.2, pardon me. So I'm just trying to think. So one, yeah, and then growth stage 4 would be 80%. I think 80% is honestly fine. All right, so let's just move crop class over here. We want to delete all of these. Let's open up our content drawer. We'll go into world, and we can do it right in here. We can go blueprint class, type actor, and this will be BP garden. All right, let's open up garden, and we're going to add a instance static mesh, which is going to be our soil. And we need to add some variables. It's going to be a little similar to the animal pen, but slightly different, obviously. So we need our crop location, which I'm sure if you did that video, you'll understand that we need to tell our procedural building where to start. And if it's in a different world space other than world origin, it's going to, you know, mess up if you don't have this. Okay, next we need another variable, which will be our crop. And this will be a soft object reference of BP crop class. That'll be instance editable, so we can change our crop that we are spawning in. We need crop length. And we need one more called crop age. So the reason we have crop age here and in crop class is, like I said earlier, if your designer or whatever wants to put random crops in that is not attached to this garden, we have the option for them to do that. Okay, we are going to go back in here to crop class, click on crop age, and just copy this description for this crop age, right? So we're going to hit compile, and now when we drag our gardens out, we don't have anything in here yet, but we can go to the details. So we're going to make that instance editable here, crop age and crop length, both instance editable. Now we can roll over crop age and it tells us, right? Super easy. Like, you know, the idea behind all this PCG stuff is you just want to make it easier to make levels, right? Like using my super awesome girlfriend as an example, like she does level design stuff, but she's not, you know, familiar with the coding side of things. So if I can create this kind of stuff for her where she can just roll over and be like, oh, okay, great. And then it just works for her, right? So that's ideally what you want to create. So, okay, anyways, back to this. Let's first set our soil to be the static mesh. And I think it's called bed. Yeah, bed low soil. Okay, so we're going to hit compile and we're going to, nothing will happen yet. Okay, so we're just going to do the first bit of the construction script where we actually spawn the first length of the crop. So crop length, we will get that, we will clamp it like we've done before, and we'll set it from 1 until, ooh, the max length should be like 20. Like, I don't think, well, this will change based on your game, obviously, because this soil thing, like I said, is 8 little patches long. So 20 times 8 is 80 Unreal Engine units. That's pretty big, in my opinion. So crop length, set that here. Okay, next we are going to set our crop location by doing the exact same thing we've done before, which is get our default scene root, get world location, and plug that in. Okay, so now we have a starting point for everything else to build off. Okay, crop age. We need to do the same thing as we did in the other ones. So we need to get crop age. We need to clamp that, and it'll be between 1 and 4. And then we will, pardon me, not that crop, this crop. All right, next let's get a for loop. Just like that, and we are going to plug in the crop length into that last index, and we don't need to do crop -1 or whatever. We can just start the first index at 1. Okay, we don't need to create a local variable because this is the only instance that we're adding, but we just need to multiply this, convert this to a vector, and on the x, which is the forward vector of this particular thing, so we're going to add 800. I'm making it 800 because we'll just finish this up and it's just better with a visual. Okay, but anyways, we're going to add 800 to the crop location, and then we are going to grab soil and we are going to add instance. Okay, and we'll split this and we'll add this location into there. Okay, let's hit compile. This should be enough for this to at least work once, but it looks like it didn't. Did I not set something? That's set. Crop length. Yeah, oh, there it is. Okay, so, oh, we gotta change the pivot point for that too. Bed, and we gotta put that right on the end. Like, I'm just gonna go to top perspective just to make sure that I line this up. I hit F to frame it, if you guys wondered what I did there. This looks pretty good. Yeah, that's perfect. Accept, that's what I want. Okay, so we'll just delete this because that's not a part of our thing. Okay, anyways, I don't like the color of this. It looks like a bunch of crackers, to be honest. But yeah, this is a material instance, so you can't edit the master material. I'm not sure why. I'm not exactly an expert in it. So I just went to the textures, this is clearly the soil only. So I'm going to double click on that. I'm going to go down to brightness. I think I brought brightness down to like 0.1. Saturation, like I cut it in half, I think. Yeah. So that looks pretty good. We'll save that. Back in our garden here. So yeah, sorry, getting back to this. So yeah, you can see that, you know, it's 8 patches long, like I was bitching about earlier. So each patch is 100 Unreal Engine units long. So there's 8 of them. So that's why we put the 800 in here. Okay, because every time I add a crop length, it's going to add another length of crop, right? It's going to keep going, right? If you wanted to model your own and just add like 100 by 100 square, then you would put 100 in here. Right? So it's however long your mesh is, that's what you want to put in here. Alrighty. So that's the plot. Now we got to work with the vegetables. Okay, so first let's, that's not right. Let's delete that. That's not right. We'll put a new one out. Didn't we adjust? Did I not hit accept on that? Well, let's see here. Static meshes, bed. No, I hit, okay. All right. Something's messed up here. Crop age, loop, first index, times 800. There we go, right there. That is the issue, everybody. It's not world space checked. Look at that. Oh, we gotta hit compile first. Oh, look at that. It's still all effed up. Because actually, you know what? That's because we have first index at 1. We gotta make this 0 and actually do the -1. That is what's happening there. So, okay, there we go. Now it's working properly. Crop length, blah, 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 right? Okay. So we're just gonna add a couple of these. We'll just set the crop length to 1. We don't want to, you know, kill our engine. Couple of crops. There we go. Let's get back in here and let's actually make our crops start. Okay, so in our event graph now, we'll get rid of these. Don't need them. But just good practice is if they're ghosted out like this, just delete them because there is a little bit of overhead still. So it's not substantial, but I mean, if every single blueprint had one in your game, then it would add a fair bit of overhead. So yeah, you don't want that. Anyways, we're gonna use event begin play. First, we're gonna check if our crop's valid. So we'll get the crop and convert it to a validate get. If our crop's valid, sweet. If not, we don't want to do anything. Okay, obviously if it's valid, we want to async load asset or load class asset. Again, this is an object class reference, which is anything in Unreal Engine. So we need to tell it what class we want, which is our BP crop class. Okay, and again, off completed because we don't want this to do anything unless we've loaded it in the asset. All right, so we're gonna get another for each loop or for loop. Those words in my brain are interchangeable, but they're not the same thing. Okay, and then obviously good practice. We didn't do this in the last one. We're gonna print string, and we're just gonna say cast failed BP garden. Garden, oh my god, garden crop class. Okay, and just, you know, a fail safe. Just this doesn't ship with your game, right? But it's in there just in case something goes wrong, and then you know exactly what happened. Okay, so the for loop, we need the crop length. Is it crop length -1? It is not. It's crop length times the amount of squares. So it'll be 8. Okay, so there's 8 squares in our thing. So if you only have one little square, like I told you about earlier, this will be literally crop length. But yeah, since we have 8 squares in each crop length, I'm adding this node in here. All right, so from the loop body, we are going to spawn actor from class, and it's going to be this guy. Okay, the spawn transform, we're gonna split that open, sorry. Okay, and we need to place a crop every 100 units, right? Because each one of these is 100. So we will probably offset it a little bit. Just looking at my notes. I don't. Oh no, I do. Yeah, okay, I offset it here. So we're gonna take our index. We are going to multiply that and make this a vector, and it's gonna be in the X, and it'll be 100. Okay, and I think that's not it yet. So we're gonna add that, and we add it to the crop location. Okay, however, we're gonna split this and split this because every 100, I wonder if we do every 50, would that make a difference? I would put 50 here. Actually, maybe I will put 50 here just to show you what happens and then plug this in. Okay, we'll compile, and oh yeah, and then this spawn actor, I forgot one thing in the crop class here. For crop age, we want to make this exposed on spawn. Because now when we spawn this actor in here, we'll compile the crop age is here, and we're gonna plug our crop age from our garden in because we want those to match up, okay? But anyways, this will work with some errors. So we will select our carrot crop, and we will select our corn crop, potatoes, pumpkins, and our wheat. And we're gonna hit, we hit compile, so we should see, oh no, we don't see it until we hit plus, or play. Where's our garden? Over there. Okay, so you can see that putting 50 in didn't exactly work. So we need to basically multiply it by 100 for each individual index, because that will get us to literally the crease of every individual plot here, right? So yeah, that's what we need to do, and then we just need to minus 50 so that it's in the middle of each plot. Okay, and you can see that the growth stage was actually working there. If you guys have the day-night cycle already, it'll pump up here in a sec. There we go. See, they all leveled up. So okay, so we know that works, so that's great. We just got to get them to line up here. So this will be 100 times 100, and then crop location. We'll split this once again. Y and Z will be the same. I don't think there's any, oh, actually, yeah, that'll be a slight difference. But anyways, X we're going to minus by 50 so that we can get it right in the middle of each individual plot. Okay, and we'll just test that out. Look at that. Our crops, except this, it's making one more than it should. Why is it making one more than it should? Is it because this has to be one per, yes, it does. Okay, so we'll do that. Compile, test that out again. There we go, that fixed that issue. Alrighty, these are potatoes. That's fine, because you put potatoes in the ground, right? Or do you half expose them? I don't freaking know, I'm not a farmer. There we go, we got little potatoes now, and that actually looks kind of nice. I like the size of these as well, these are really nice. Alright, so well, to illustrate our point for the full crop age, I believe that's it for this. I'm just having a look here. Yes, that is actually it for this. So let's set our time dilation for our day-night cycle to 0.2. That'll make it basically friggin' instant. And then we'll hit play. We'll come over here, and our things are gonna grow at midnight. So there they grew, and they're gonna grow again, and then one more stage. There we go. Okay, so that's the full stage thing. I think the size is pretty appropriate. What up, everybody? We're about a week and a half after I recorded this tutorial series, so yeah, there was a pretty colossal error that I made making this garden plot that I'm going to fix for you guys right now. So we made this in regards to the x-axis, but you can see, like, if I try to rotate it, it won't let me because we've only told it to build on the x-axis. So we're gonna fix that, because if you wanted to obviously like layer it along, like, you know, this pasture, for example, we want to give you the option to do that. I'm also going to show you a couple of things both in the animal pen and the abandoned pasture that'll actually give you some more control over what's going on in there, because I've kind of did that myself after the fact, so I'll show you guys that now. Okay, anyways, so let's push Control E. We just learned about that in the video that just came out. Control E to open the blueprint here. So we're going to start in the construction script for the garden crop. Okay, so first, this crop location, we are going to change to a transform. It's going to ask you, it's going to break, blah, blah, blah. Sure, change the type. Okay, we got to break this. We have to delete world location and get now the world transform. We're going to hit compile. Unreal crashed on me, and it might crash again. It did crash again. What the man? Okay, so Unreal crashed on me, so that's the second time it's done that, which is really frustrating because I've done the same thing each time. So instead, I'm going to rename the crop location offset, crop offset, sorry, and then just make a new variable called crop location and make that a transform. Okay, make sure you can do this right now too. Just make rename this and make sure that this is instance editable, the crop offset, because we're going to deal with that next. First, I'm going to set this crop location. All right, we're going to hit compile, and if this crashes again, I'm switching to Unity. Okay, we're good. I didn't want to switch to Unity anyway. Anyways, okay, so we're going to come on down here to where we do this bit. We're going to unplug this crop offset. We are going to actually delete that there. And we are going to recombine this struct pin to make it a transform again, and then we're going to make a transform. Okay, so the crop offset is actually going to get plugged in here instead. So what this is going to do is this is going to give us the opportunity to tell it how many. We'll start with 800 in the X, but either the X or the Y, like which direction to build this. Okay, And then we will add this into our crop location. So we'll just have to get crop location and split this, and then we will plug this in here, and then plug all of these in here, and then plug this plus into the location. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. So just to recap, we're setting our transform instead of just our location. Okay, and then we're gonna get the crop offset, which will be 800 in the X as default. Or it could be 800 in the Y. You'd have to this is based on however long your specific static mesh is for your garden. Okay. And then we are going to add that into the original transform and then add an instance for that. Okay. So we'll hit compile. That should be all good. We're going to go to our event graph now, and we're going to come all the way over here. We're going to delete crop offset because that's not the one we need. Okay. Crop location. We're going to grab that transform. We are going to split that and then split the location as well. Okay, because we want to minus 50 from the, is it the, oh, I guess it's the X. Yeah, it is the X, pardon me. The reason we did the transform is because then we added the ability for us to rotate the crop, and then we can obviously build from the relative X from your rotation instead of just the world X, if that makes sense. Okay. All right, so we'll hit compile. Let's check and make sure that this works. I got to open my other level because my Unreal Engine crashed. Let's just pull this one over. And Unreal's just having a hard time today. I got to restart my computer or something. Anyways, so now we can rotate our crop, and now when we tell the crop length to go up, it's going to build it. Oh, there it is. Okay, so it built 5, but that's just because of the offset. So here's the offset up here. We're going to clear that, and then now you can see that it's building it 100 in the X. And if that's not what you want, that's fine. You can either lower that and get something like this now, or you can just clear that. So this is Y facing, you can see here, right? So now we can put 800 in the Y. So now it's going to build 5 that way. All right, so that's that. Could you do another row? I mean, you probably could, but you probably won't want to do that because you want to keep it separate so that you have different crops, right? So anyway, so that gives you control over what direction we can have the crop. So that fixes that. Okay, now for the bonus bits here for the animal pens. So let's click on this. So right now we have number of animals, pen width, and pen length. So we want to give control over this, basically the number of animals and the density of the animals in there, because obviously, like, you know, this is a small pen, so putting 2 cows in there would be kind of a lot, but putting in like 6 chickens in there would be probably totally acceptable. So we need to add something in there in order to control the density of the animals in there. You can do that either with an enum, but you can just add a slider, to be honest. So you can see here that we put a clamp on this already for the small animal sets animal pen limit, or whatever the case is. Okay, so we're gonna go back to the event graph actually, or pardon me, the construction script actually. Okay, so this is where we where do we cap the number of animals that are allowed in the pen? Set animal pen limit in here. What we could do instead is, instead of doing this Boolean, whether it's small or not, we could just change the animal density, which will be this number right here. Okay, so why don't we just delete this branch, and we can get rid of this Boolean, and we can get rid of this, and we'll plug this in, and then we'll just say, we'll promote this to a variable, and we'll call it, yeah, animal density, and maybe animal in pen density. And make sure that's instance editable. So now we can basically select what divisible number that we're going to do in here to clamp our animals. So let's go into the description and just put a little note in here for the level designer. We'll just say divides, so animal limit set by length times width divided by animal density. So that will give them an idea of like what the mathematics is. And then we can actually plug this back into our construction script, and sets animal pen limit. And now we can actually probably clamp this number live. And then we don't have to worry about that other thing for the animal designer, or the animal designer. Isn't that God? Just kidding. So, you know, whatever. So now we can delete this small thing. We can delete this, and we can delete this, and we can just plug straight into this for loop here. Okay, perfect. So I know I showed you guys that in the video, but I mean, that's just another way to do it. There's a lot of ways to do a lot of different things. So that's how I would do the animal pen limit. And now we can, obviously, number of animals in the pen, animal density, it's going to be chickens. So let's do 2. And then we'll say number of animals, let's do 30, but it's going to clamp it to 4 because it's 2 by 2, right? So, so anyways, okay. And then we can increase this, and it's going to drop the number automatically, right? So for animal density, we'll say 1. So that means that we can put 8 chickens in here, I believe. Yes. 9 chickens, actually. Nice. 3x3, that's what it was. Okay, anyways, so that's the animal pen thing. The other thing we're going to look at here is actually pretty nice. So it's more easy to see with the fence, but it's going to work with both the fence and without the fence. Okay, there's actually 3 things we're gonna add on here. So let's push Control E to open this up. Okay, so inside this event graph, I actually added this stuff, I think after I did the video before, so I already have it, but I'm gonna walk you guys through it here. Okay, so we are gonna go to sets foliage pen limit, which is the function we made over here. Okay, so this is where we're going to set the number of foliage we have in here. I think we had this, you guys had this as 3. So if I disconnect this, this literally says 3 right now, I think, for you guys. So we're, yeah, promote this to a variable. Make sure that it's foliage multiplier is instance editable, and then we can plug this in. So this will just increase the amount of static meshes in the pen for you guys. Okay, the next thing was, where was it here? Right here. Foliage density. So right click, promote this to a variable. This is going to allow you to determine how much flowers you want in the pen and how many just straight grass you want in the pen. So I put a note up here. 0 is all foliage, 1 is no foliage. I should say flowers maybe instead. Okay, so yeah, that'll control that. And the last thing that we did, obviously make sure that's instance editable as well. And then, all right, back in this this construction script, calculate spawn transform. Okay, yeah, this is where it was. So what you can do right now is, if we look at this, we've told it that we want this to be, was it 90? Yeah, 10 and 90, right? So this is going to feather in 10 and feather in 90 on this side. So if you want to control that, like if you want, you know, this to fill all the way out, even to the fence, like if you want foliage sticking out of the fence, then we'll want to be able to change that. Or maybe we want it to be even tighter than what it is right now, right? So we can add some parameters here on this random integer in range in the calculate spawn transform subgraph. We're going to promote, we can probably just make them over here, and we'll call this edge feather minimum integer, and then one more called edge feather maximum. Okay, make sure both of those are instance editable. We can drag those into our foliage folder as well. Okay, drag both of those out. Edge feather minimum and edge feather maximum. Let's set the default for this to, we'll compile the blueprint here so we can set it. The minimum should be like 10 or maybe even 5. Edge feather max should be 95. And we should put a description in here. We'll just say sets the far edge feathering. Max is 100. Okay, and then same thing, sets near edge feathering. Minimum is 0. Okay, let's plug those both into minimum and max into max. And we'll hit compile. And now when we come back here, we can see that we can control these. So edge feather minimum. So if I put that at 0 and this at 100, you can see that we've now like kind of overgrown our vegetation to be outside the fence. I mean, that could be something you want, or you could want something, you know, a little bit more, you know, let's do like 20 and 80, right? Like that's a pretty condensed like flower zone now. So yeah, that gives you full control over that. And then yeah, for this, like we can increase our foliage density to be only dandelions. So put this at 0, it's going to be only dandelions. And then obviously you can sprinkle in some density if you want, like some little bit of grass here and there or whatever. Maybe that's not enough static meshes for you. So now we can increase the foliage multiplier so that we get more foliage in here. Okay, but obviously be careful that like you can't put this at 100, or you can, but it'll obviously affect performance in your game, right? So we don't want to be doing that if we don't have to. So there you guys go. A couple of extra things a week and a half later after I've been experimenting around with these. And yeah, we'll go back to my regular outro. Hopefully that helped you guys create a super awesome garden system. Like I said, all you need to do would be to add like the interact interface event inside there, and you can do some, you know, whatever you need to do in your game, right? So you guys did a really good job if you followed all 3 procedural generation videos. If you like this video, let me know in the comments below if you want to see something else procedural. If you want to keep learning in Unreal Engine, make sure you click that video there to level up your game knowledge. Special thanks to my Realm Royal coffee members. If you do want to become a coffee member to support what I do and get access to great perks, videos early, etc., check out the coffee page, see what tier is right for you. Thanks a lot, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe. Join the Discord if you guys need help, and keep learning till you game over. Peace.